Today on KUJH, KU announces that all employees must be vaccinated by December 8th.
A KU student is found dead at an on-campus dorm on Daisy Hill.
And an interview with the new KU police chief. All this and more today on KUJH.
Live from the studio in Stauffer Flint at the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.
Good afternoon and welcome back to KUJH News. I'm Emily Johnson.
And I'm Ryan Butler. The University of Kansas Chancellor Doug Girod announced last week that following the executive order from President Joe Biden, KU employees are now required to be vaccinated by December 8th.
The mandate includes student employees of the university as well. Girod said in an email, quote, "Employees who do not comply with the vaccine requirement are subject to disciplinary action to and including termination from employment." He continued to say that if KU does not comply, it could lose millions of federal funding.
A student was found dead in Lewis Hall, a KU dorm, on Sunday. According to a press release, police responded to a call listed as a medical emergency.
When the police arrived, they found a female student dead in her room. No foul play has been suspected, but an investigation is still ongoing. Students troubled by this event can contact KU Counseling and Psychological Services at 785-864-2277 or use the My Student program.
Issues of campus safety have made headlines nationally and here at KU in the wake of protests and rallies focused on finding ways to reduce instances of sexual assault on college campuses. It's an issue that Nelson Mosley, KU's new chief of police and director of public safety, recognizes and hopes to address.
How we can address it is our continuation of education and making sure we educate those, especially at orientation with new students coming on board. Here's what you can expect from the police department, and here's what you should expect during any process.
When I sat down with him last week, he emphasized community trust and says he wants to hear from members of the KU community.
I have an open door policy. My department has an open door policy. We're just making ourselves more approachable and just available to anyone out there. I'm inviting anyone. In fact, I've been here just over 30 days and I've had a lot of visits with faculty members, staff, even students.
I really had a great conversation with Chief Mosley, and I look forward to seeing his impact on our KU community.
Last week, as our show wrapped up, multiple reports came out that Brian Laundrie's remains were found in Florida's Carlton Reserve. After an autopsy, no manner or cause of death was determined.
The lawyer of the Laundrie's family stated that there is no immediate plan for a funeral, but there may be a private ceremony later on. Laundrie was a person of interest in the Gabby Petito case, but was never charged.
Although you may think toxic glow sticks like this and open candies are the largest concern for Halloween weekend, but families with children trick-or-treating need to be on the lookout for a different common danger. Kevin Joels, Lawrence Division Chief of EMS, explains what the most common calls on Halloween evening are about.
Often, if we're going to a call, it's usually a slip, trip, or fall, usually caused by maybe somebody's costume being a little bit longer than they're normally used to, or a car accident of sort, but not usually a car versus car, but a car versus a pedestrian, because we have a lot of kids that are running across the street, not looking, and then a lot of people that are just following their kids in their vehicle, depending on the weather.
Joels also asks children and parents to inspect your candy and to not eat anything open or handmade.
I hope kids can finally get back out to trick-or-treat this year. I'm looking forward to some kids coming by my house too.
I agree. Hopefully everyone can enjoy their candy finally again. After the break, we'll take a look at the KU Zine Club.
And I took a visit to the new IHOP restaurant with an interesting twist. Stay tuned. The KU Zine Club put a spooky spin on their event this past Monday. KUJH reporter Dre Bradley has more.
Thanks, Ryan. Zines have been around for almost 100 years, being used for everything from science fiction to the Riot Girl movement. The KU Zine Club is adding to its history, mixing feminism with the spirit of Halloween.
Students gathered in the Burge Union's Discovery Room this past Monday for the KU Zine Club. The club began with virtual meetings at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. One of the club's hosts, Dr. Megan Williams, explained the virtual process, which ended this semester.
So we would have a host and a theme, and we would work on scenes around that theme, and then, just throughout the course of the time together, which would be about an hour and a half, we would talk about anything and everything, kind of catch up with each other. Like I said, there was a theme, so oftentimes the conversation would revolve around the theme, and then at the end of the time, we would share what we'd made.
The club has a different feminist theme for each event, the latest one combining feminism with Halloween candy and My Halloween mini-zine coloring books. Dr. Williams believes this club is important as a way to boost mental health.
Making is good for mental health, and so there have been studies that have shown that making things with your hands, like I said, is very therapeutic. And so I think especially during the pandemic, when we're under so much stress and there's been so much sort of collective trauma around it, making with our hands really can help bolster our mental health.
Graduate student Diana Ramirez can attest to that, using her time at the club to relieve stress.
We get really emotional in some of my classes, so it's nice to express some of the emotions that I hold and just put it into a magazine. Just by cutting up a magazine or putting words or coloring, it's a nice way to just kind of zone out for a little bit.
Ramirez is new to zine making, but still views it as a form of expression.
I didn't know what it was at first, and then Meg explained what it was, and it's kind of nice to be able to express ourselves through these little magazines.
The KU Zine Club is held every other Monday at 6:30 p.m. at the Burge Union, room 1025. Everyone is welcome to join. For KUJH, Andre Bradley. Back to you, Emily and Ryan.
Thanks, Dre. To learn more about zines and their relationship to feminism, visit emilytaylorcenter.ku.edu/make-zines-do-feminism.
A new restaurant concept 3 years in the making is open in Lawrence. I spoke to the owner about the details and why he chose this town over others.
I partnered with my partner and IHOP to open the first one in the world in Lawrence. And we took Lawrence as to be like the capital of Flipped by IHOP.
Flipped by IHOP, now open on 6th and Wakarusa in West Lawrence, is offering an environment different than a traditional IHOP restaurant, specifically catering to younger generations.
And we thought this will work with KU students. It's because we know they're busy. We know they don't have time just to sit and spend 2 hours to eat. They need something to grab and go.
It's described as quick food, but not fast food, all freshly prepared and cooked to order.
Our concept is breakfast, dinner, and lunch, and they're prepared quickly and taste very well with a good price.
Flipped also offers fresh baked cookies and pastries, grab-and-go snacks, salads, and special deals for KU students.
We have KU students, they can show their ID and they can get 10% of the whole ticket. And on Monday and Tuesday, KU students show their ID, they get a flip bowl for only $2.99.
For KUJH, this is Ryan Butler.
I'm personally looking forward to finally trying this restaurant. The pancakes and desserts look really delicious and like a new energy to Lawrence restaurant that we're definitely lacking.
I didn't actually get to try anything while I was there, but I will say that the pancake bowls look delicious.
Yeah.
Growing up on a reservation in Montana, a student faced some extraordinary challenges prior to attending KU. Let's take a look.
This is Milton Bighorn. Growing up on the Fort Peck Reservation in Montana had its own unique challenges, from attending underprivileged public school to his family living paycheck to paycheck, he was not a stranger to what life is really like on the reservation.
Life on the reservation, it's hard. A lot of other children and students there struggle and they hardly ever make it out.
Milton's Unchi, which means grandma in his native language, was his biggest motivator.
My Unchi, she made sure that we were always fed, we always had a roof over our head and clothes on our back, and she made sure that we would grow up to be fine young men, and I put a lot of my foundation growing up in her arms because I wouldn't be here without her.
Some of Milton's peers got involved with alcohol and drugs at a young age and didn't make it to high school graduation. He says he owes it to his Unchi that his path was different than his peers.
That's another reason why I blame my Unchi to prevent me going on the wrong path. She taught me right from wrong, and that kind of led me out of that group because most of my friend group in middle school didn't pass high schools.
Out of a graduating class of 34, Milton was one of 4 people to go to either higher education or the military. He went to a small university in Montana pursuing an automotive technology degree. Milton decided after graduating he wanted to pursue his other passion, physical education.
But I wanted to step up and get more exposure to the whole world and get out of Montana. Even though I love Montana, I wanted to get out and explore something new and get out of my comfort zone so I could grow as a human being.
Milton went to Haskell first, and with the help of Melissa Peterson and the Bridge program, he transferred to KU. Milton is now the co-chair of the First Nations Student Association and also joined the cheer team.
So I think that here in the last couple of months, Milton, as the co-chair for the First Nations Student Association, has really stepped up with the other leaders and challenged KU or pushed KU to do things that they had not done before.
When finished with school, Milton wants to go back to the reservation he grew up on to be a coach and provide the youth opportunities he wished he had. This is Sarah McDonough reporting for KUJH.
It is so amazing to see a young man overcome so many challenges in order to finally live out his dream.
Definitely. After the break, we have Halen Wilhite telling us what is going on with all of the rain in Lawrence. Stay tuned.
No one takes drugs expecting to become addicted. You should know that addiction can happen to anyone because it's a disease of the brain. That also means recovery is possible. Addiction doesn't have to be permanent, and the state of Kansas is ready to assist you in every step of the way. Visit findtreatment.gov or call the Kansas Substance Abuse Referral Line at 866-645-8216.
Hello everyone, my name is Halen Wilhite here with your weather forecast for this evening. A couple of the headlines we're going to be talking about today. We've got lots of rain for us ahead in the next couple of days, although we've got mild and clear weather ahead for us for the holiday weekend. And looking ahead at next week, we may be seeing a possible first snow coming in next week, but we're going to focus on today's weather right now as we've got quite a bit happening today. We've got temperatures reaching up to a high of 60 degrees today, still quite seeing a few scattered showers throughout the day today as that precipitation chance is still at 90% and a little bit of gusty winds between 10 to 15 miles per hour from the southeast. And looking to continue to look at our hourly planner and still see quite a bit of rain showers hanging out in the area for this evening and also hanging out in those upper 50s, getting down into those mid 50s by 11 o'clock, and that wind shifting starting, or at least we'll see quite a wind shift once we get on into later tonight and see winds really start to pick up for tomorrow. And here's just one look at our models for this afternoon. Still seeing just quite an influx of rain showers, scattered rain showers throughout the day and even throughout the evening hours, as well as tonight still going to be holding on to quite a bit of precipitation still at 80%. Although we're going to be dipping down to a low of 47 degrees. And as I mentioned before, still continue to see quite the numerous showers in the area, and that north wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And we're actually going to, as I mentioned before, we're going to see that wind really start to kick up, and we'll be seeing those wind speeds get up into those 20 to 25 miles per hour from the northeast, and could see even gusts up to 30 miles per hour for tomorrow. But still may see a few lingering morning showers, but that still looks to be a mostly cloudy day ahead for us and a very breezy one at that. So definitely want to hold on to your textbooks, hold on to your hats for tomorrow, and definitely might start thinking about grabbing that coat looking ahead next week. This is one of our future track models going to be showing us next week. Could be seeing the possibility of our first snow making its way into our area, as we're going to be seeing temperatures really get pretty low, or at least getting very below average for next week. And I'll show you all just that. We'll see temperatures hanging out in those upper 50s going into Friday, and then by Saturday, Halloween, looking to be a great one at about 62 degrees for Saturday. And then once we get into the first half of next week, we're really going to be diving down into those mid to upper 40s, 45 degrees for Tuesday. And check it out, that's our low of 34 degrees, really seeing getting close to that freezing point. And that's why some models want to pick up a little bit of snow with that long range futurecast model, but we're still going to be keeping a very close eye on that. But definitely something to look forward to, or at least keep a tabs on it as we go into next week. But still, a great Halloween weekend is ahead for us. We got 62 degrees for Saturday, 40 degrees for our low on Saturday night, and then by Sunday, Halloween, 55 degrees will be our high and full of sunshine. It will be a great evening to go out trick-or-treating or do any kind of Halloween festivities for the evening. But that is all I have this weather forecast. Stay tuned for more KUJH News.
You may not hear it at first, but it's there. Our chant, rising. On this summit, callings converge, voices unify into a chorus that sounds out for good, for greatness. Can you hear it?
Welcome back. It was another busy weekend for KU sports and the NFL.
Madison Osberger Lowe has more.
Thanks, guys. KU football played at home this past Saturday as they were defeated by number 3 ranked Oklahoma Sooners. The Jayhawks were off to a great start, shutting out the Sooners in the first half, but it was the work of star freshman quarterback Caleb Williams that led their comeback, ending with a final score of 35-23. Quarterback Jason Bean finished the game with 1 touchdown and 246 passing yards. Lawrence local Devin Neal ended the game with 100 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, helping him earn the Big 12 Co-Newcomer of the Week honors. The Kansas Jayhawks will travel this weekend to Stillwater, Oklahoma, where they will take on Oklahoma State this Saturday. Perhaps what is the biggest game of the season comes this Thursday for the Kansas women's soccer team. They host 20th ranked Texas in a win and you're in scenario with the Big 12 tournament of the line. If Texas wins, not only will this season end for Kansas, but they also have a chance of taking the Big 12 regular season title. The Big 12 tournament starts this Sunday in Round Rock, Texas. Kansas volleyball returns this week to host the Oklahoma Sooners after a 2-week break. After a 9-game winning streak, which included their first 3 conference matches, they look to bounce out of their current 5-game losing slump after being swept against number 1 Texas and number 11 Baylor. Friday's game will be at 6:30 and Saturday will be at 4. The University of Kansas swim and dive team hosted the Kansas Double Duel at Robinson Natatorium last Friday against South Dakota and Saturday against Missouri State. The Jayhawks swam into their first dual win of the season in the first part of the double as they took off South Dakota. Freshman Ellie Ho finished first place in the 100 yards breaststroke event. Senior Katie Stewart also created a good winning day for the Jayhawks as she finished first in the 100-yard breaststroke and the medley. The Atlanta Braves started the Fall Classic on a strong note, defeating the Houston Astros 6-2 in Game 1 of the World Series. Former Royal Jorge Soria led off with a home run 3 pitches into the game, and the Braves as a whole scored 5 runs in the first 3 innings. Game 2 is tonight at 7 in Houston. Now we will kick it over to an NFL update with Camden.
Thanks, Madison. The blowouts and milestones of Week 7 made for an exciting weekend of football. 6 of 13 games had a score difference of at least 21 points. The Patriots defeated the Jets 54-13 on Sunday. Patriots quarterback Mac Jones had the first 300-yard passing day of his career and completed 24 of 36 passes. Tom Brady threw his 600th career touchdown during the Buccaneers' 38-3 victory over the Bears. Brady is the first quarterback to reach this milestone and had to do some negotiating to receive the game ball after wide receiver Mike Evans threw it into the stands. The fan who caught the ball will receive 2 signed Brady jerseys, a helmet, a jersey signed by Evans, and a Bitcoin worth about $50,000. The Chiefs lost 24-3 to the Titans on Sunday. Patrick Mahomes left the game in the fourth quarter after his helmet hit the knee of Jeffrey Simmons. Mahomes ended the day with 206 yards and no touchdowns. This leaves the Chiefs and the Broncos tied for last place in the AFC West. The Raiders took the lead in the AFC West after their 33-22 win over the Eagles, and the Chargers had a bye week. Looking into Week 8, the Cardinals remain undefeated as they take on the 6-1 Packers Thursday night at 7:20 p.m. Any Broncos fans like me will be hoping for a victory Sunday afternoon when they play the Washington football team at 3:25. And the Chiefs will end the week on Monday night when they host the Giants at 7:15. For KUJH, I'm Camden Fogo. Back to you, Ryan and Emily.
Thanks, Camden. Honestly, it was really hard to watch the Chiefs play on Sunday. It was not a great game at all and not very interesting to watch as a fan of the team.
It was. That hit on Mahomes was definitely scary. I'm a little worried about them, but I'm not losing faith completely yet. I'm going to be back out at the game Monday night, this upcoming Monday against the Giants. Looking forward to seeing a Chiefs win, I hope.
Good. Hopefully the weather will stay and be fine, no snow. And after the break, we'll have an update with a new pumpkin patch in Lawrence.
For students searching for a way to stay active in an outdoorsy way, the City of Lawrence has bike trails running in every direction, and with the new bike share program, we can stay in shape as we tour the sights of our beautiful city. Clinton Lake is only a short 30-minute bike ride away from Daisy Hill and has the most incredible sunset location in all of Lawrence. Walking campus may give you the KU calves, but biking can give you the KU thighs. Bike Lawrence today.
With the Halloween weekend upon us, reporter Keegan Hewitt had the chance to stop at one of Lawrence's longest-standing pumpkin patches.
As the cool, crisp, cold air hits here in Lawrence, Sheila and Charlotte Dressler are working on finishing up their season at the Shockey Family Pumpkin Patch.
We opened the first weekend in October, so the first Saturday is our first day, and then Halloween will be our last day. And depending on how Halloween falls, we will be open this year, Halloween Day, till around noon.
For many folks in Lawrence, the Shockey Family Pumpkin Patch is just a seasonal experience they can enjoy. But for the Shockey family, it is much more.
Along the way, Mom and Dad had wanted to make people of the community more aware of farm life. So they thought it would be neat to have people out and actually see a farm working while picking pumpkins.
Charla and Sheila also stated they enjoy bringing an organic experience to the community of Lawrence.
30 acres of pumpkins, and they're actually grown on the vine, so you can pick. We have over 100 some varieties of just actual pumpkins that you can pick, and different colors, sizes, shapes.
Besides from picking pumpkins and gourds, the Shockey Family Farm also offers unique opportunities such as hay rides, hay mazes, and feeding the tame cattle on the farm.
Then my mom is an avid bird collector, so she has some fun, unique birds to look at.
Charla and Sheila also mentioned that the family's children and grandchildren have already made their way into the Shockey Family Farm and are optimistic they can carry on this tradition for many years to come in the Lawrence community. For KUJH News, this is Keegan Hewitt.
Thanks, Keegan. I actually had the chance to go out to that pumpkin patch last weekend. They had a really great selection of different sizes and colors and shapes of pumpkins, and it was really great. A good experience for fall, especially.
Yeah, I just picked up a couple of pumpkins myself, and I look forward to carving those in the next couple of days.
Great. And that's all for KUJH this week. Be sure to tune in every Wednesday at 4 o'clock p.m. for KUJH News. Follow our socials on Twitter at KUJH_KU and our Instagram at KUJH News. I'm Emily Johnson.
And I'm Ryan Butler. Have a great evening.